juice in it. That's not juice. That's tequila.
Are we on?
A sip before you sit?
Can I do that? Is that allowed?
I mean, I guess it's our podcast.
I'm a little nervous.
It's our rules. On this podcast, we are going to explore the generational gap that is between us. A very unique gap, would you say?
10 years to the day. 10 years to the month, not the day. 17 days apart.
So 10 years to the month. And in case you were wondering what month.
Big Leo.
Big Leo energy. Okay,
Hello,
best month.
Big Mama.
Okay, I mean.
Tell the editor to answer the music right here. Big Mama. Yeah.
Big Mama. In the Gap Talk, we'll be diving into our shared stories, experiences, and journeys.
We'll talk about navigating the gaps in our lives. Those spaces between where we are and where we want to be and all the complexities that come between them.
This podcast is a celebration of us as we navigate those gaps with grace, humility, and solidarity.
Our goal here is to uplift each other, share wisdom, and bring visibility to the stories that often go untold.
We'll be talking about everything from sisterhood, self-love, personal growth, pop culture, and everything in between. I am adopted, right? So I have my parents that raised me, and then I have my biological parents. Up until 17 or 18, I was not aware of who my biological father was. Then boom, out the blue, here he comes, right? So my biological father, I found out who he was when I was 18. Along with the biological father, I gained siblings. And with siblings, I gained nieces and nephews.
Mad nieces and
nephews. So one of those siblings is Ayana's father, who is my big brother, who like immediately, when all of the weirdness that was going on, y'all know how Black families do, and it's like people know, but they don't know, and it's like a big secret or whatever. And he, in very much true Teddy fashion, sent me a message and was like, "This your big brother, holla at me when you ready."
And that was his first one?
His first message, our first interaction was a Facebook message that he sent to me and said, "This is your big brother, holla at me when you ready, you heard."
Holla at your boy.
Circa 09.
Circa 09. And put his phone number.
No hey, hi, hello.
And I think I responded on some like, I'm still trying to process. I was like 18 or 19. I was like, this is all just way too much for me. So all of that started happening around like 2008. I probably didn't come visit y'all for the first time until 2010. So when I would come and visit, and then I always stay with y'all for the weekend.
You always stay with us in my room, in my bed.
Yeah.
Because I had a bunk bed at the time. My sister stayed at the bottom and I stayed at the top. And you said you remember sleeping with Livy at the bottom.
I would sleep with Liv at the bottom, yeah.
Pink sheets.
Pink.
Rockstar
How far we
comforter.
have come? Wow.
I don't remember like the first actual meeting. Like I don't remember him having a talk. I just remember you coming around. And there was like no like, I mean, I could be wrong because, you know, as you get older, you kind of forget certain things. But I don't remember there being a like prelim. Like, hey, so there's this girl coming and here's how she's related to you. And she's going to be hanging with us for a little bit.
I mean, but is there ever?
Right. But I think I was old enough for them to have some sort of a conversation.
You think so?
Yes. Hello. Especially of how you got here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so I mean, I'm sure I didn't care at the time. I was just excited. But like
Right.
thinking back on it now, I wish now I had more of an understanding because I didn't know this full story until you just told me we were in LA in February. I just remember us having the sleepovers in my room. And I remember we didn't really do much either besides like having our little lunches together. I don't remember going to those, but I remember the pictures.
Yeah. So I would come and she would be like, "Can you take me to Wawa? Can you take me here? Can you take me there?" Like it would be a cool thing because it was like I could just take her parents' car and we could just drive. So you would also want to go and be like, "No, Liv and Trey can't come." Like, and Trey couldn't come anyways because Trey was a baby.
Yeah.
But you wanted to be like, "No, they can't come. Like, let's just go."
I'm a bitch, huh?
I mean, But we were having
10?
fun at 10, but you were very much like, it's me. Come on, Aunt Jordan, let's go.
I don't remember the specifics. I just remember like key moments. Us like in my parents' bed. You know how we would just like me, you, and mommy live sometimes. Just talking. Or y'all were probably talking and I was just in the
there.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But nothing specific, which I hate. I feel like I'm losing certain memories.
Well, I don't really think it was a lot to
things.
remember because I only came I wasn't around that much. And then I would come for like big stuff. So I would come for like your birthday parties.
Right.
So I was there for your 16th birthday party.
Okay, that's not that far. And then she paid for all my college applications. I remember her giving me a text like, just let me know how much. I applied to 10 schools. That was $500.
I think I just sent you my credit card.
$500 to apply to them schools. I got into 8 out of 10 of them. And then
Period. It was an investment that was worth it.
And then fast forward into AKA. And she had crossed right before me, fall 19.
So I think one of the things too was that I feel like we always had like similar creative interest. Like you were very much like specific with the things that you liked or like the type of things that you liked, whether it was an artist, whether it was a color, whether it was like, no, this is the theme, this is what it needs to be, this is how I need it to be. It like, even though you were young in those respects, like you were still very much like.
You're saying when you first met me.
Yeah. So I think as you grew, we also did things similarly. So even with you like choosing to go to college, I majored in pre-law. So it was like both of us were like in our brain, like, oh, we're going to go to college and we're going to go to law school.
Right.
And then both of us graduated from college and was like, what is law school?
We're not going to law school.
Not going to law school. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
I graduated in 2022, like with my degrees, no job. Ended up working retail and did that for a year and a half. Fast forward to 2023. All the while I was supposed to be going to law school. Never applied because I hated my scores. Was miserable where I was at. We were talking a lot more. I think just cause, or a lot more every now and again.
Yeah.
More than before. And I've been fan of Oracle Media from jump since I found Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to press you to be the social media manager for a long time. You're like, oh, I got somebody. Like,
yes,
if it works, it works. Like,
yeah.
No, I got somebody. And I'm like, all right, cool. Pressing her for years. Then 2023, it's November. I don't know if I called you or you called me or we were just texting. And then I think I hit you like, so would it be crazy if I like, can I move with you or can I live? I said it like very casually.
Yeah, I feel like it was casual, but it was on some like, I think you were also in the space so you were feeling like you needed a change of environment. Like, and I think you said that like, I was thinking maybe I could just randomly do something else or like I need to change my environment. And I was like, well,
we can have that conversation.
But I was like, I would have just been like, yeah, girl, come. But
She said, I gotta talk to my man first. We gotta talk about it. I'm like, all right, fine.
It was a good answer.
So I didn't think from that it was going to actually happen. I was just saying it to say it.
Yeah.
And for you to have that response, she called me 2 days later. So here's what you can do. Mind you, I just re-signed my lease at my studio apartment in Alexandria. She called me, we're on the phone. And she was like, if you want it, you can. You'll pay this much. You have to have a plan and whatever else, because I would be going with no job. And I'm like, okay. She was like, but you can't bring your cat. Mind you, that's my kid.
That was the only rule. I'm sorry.
That was the only rule. You can't bring your cat. I bust out into tears. That's my girl. That's my ESA. So I haven't not been with her for 2 years at that point. So I'm like, okay, I need to think about it. So I think I took 24 hours or like 48 hours. I called my daddy. Of course, I'm in the grocery store. I'm like, I'm basically asking like, what do you think? He was like, this is your decision. And I'm like, I'm crying in the grocery store. I don't know, this is great. Like, I don't know if I should do it. Like, I don't get it. I'm like, what would I even do? Like, just the whole thing.
I'm sure.
I decided to move to Atlanta in the span of 2 days. Broke my lease. That shit was like $3,000 to break my lease, plus 2 months rent. 5K, I needed to just like leave. Did not have 5K. Somehow found 5K. Thank you, God. And then they had already moved. December, I packed my house up as much as I could into my car, gave everything else away or threw it out, and left everything I knew for the last 6 years to come live with you.
So now, I mean, after the year, what do you feel like? Like, do you feel like it was a good?
Hell yeah. You said something before about us both having similar creative aspirations, I guess you can say. And I haven't been in tune with that until as of recently. I think around that time we were talking something. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. And I know I could be doing and I want to be doing something else, but I was so stuck on doing something realistic and it wasn't working. Like no corporate job hired me or wanted me. Law school didn't seem like it was working in my favor. So then moving here, she had me on set day 2. I moved in, I got here January 2nd. We was on set January 3rd and 4th off the bat. I've had the time of my life. I didn't think I was gonna like Atlanta like this.
Really?
I was hopeful, but everyone kept saying like, no, that matches your vibe. I've only ever been twice.
You came in was immediately a local, like, girl, you gotta go to this, you gotta go to that. Like, she knew every place in Atlanta that there was to eat, that there was to hang out, every bar. And I'm just in the house like, okay.
I'm a foodie.
That sounds good, girl.
Yeah, from jump too. So
I think we have, like, when we're home and when we're together, we have a lot of like deep conversations with each other that we felt like this would be a good platform for us to also share those conversations and also share the dynamics of our relationship as auntie and niece, because it's not
traditional.
It's not traditional.
Conventional.
It's not formal.
We be cussing each other out sometimes.
We do.
With love though. Mm-hmm. She be teaching me stuff, but I be teaching her stuff right back. Don't, nod in agreement. Yes. She does. Yeah. Do you ever feel like I be having to like give you like an auntie look like, okay, too far? But like it's never, I don't really take it for real.
What you mean?
It's not like you know how your mom gives you that stern, like you better sit down. Like, you know what I mean? Like how you be doing your kids. You don't do that to me, I feel like. I don't be taking it like, oh, she mean business. I'd be like, oh, she just sassy today. Okay, I'll try tomorrow. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm not doing that again.
So you saying you don't respect me?
Oh, no.
Because that's what this sounds like. You sound disrespectful.
No, I didn't know. I was nervous. I didn't know. I was like, are we going to beef? Like, how was this dynamic going to play out? Because we went from seeing each other holiday, every now and then, to every day.
Yeah.
We was bestie bobs every day. Yeah. I was hugging her every morning like I didn't see her the night before. Like it was just like natural from the jump. So it's not a disrespect thing. It's more so I think I could read your energy.
Yeah.
So I could tell when things are serious or not. And I know if I should play or not. And I think you do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's an unspoken thing.
Right.
Plus we have Tamario in the middle, so.
Yeah, and he just be egging us on sometimes.
He don't want to get the brunt of everything else.
I think that for me, it's been an interesting dynamic in a sense of like I feel like there should be more grace and understanding for those first 5 years out of college. Because everybody doesn't get a corporate job.
Right.
Everybody doesn't immediately start making 6 figures. Everybody doesn't immediately figure it out. And sometimes you go to college and you get this degree that doesn't necessarily like turn into a tangible skill.
Right.
That you can do something with. And everybody is like, but you went to college. But you got your degree. You should be doing X, Y, and Z. And I don't feel like there's enough, people don't give enough grace to college graduates. And that's just like a weird life space to be in where everybody's like, you need to be figuring it out and you should know. And it's like, give me a beat. Like, give me a second, because it's like the years are very formative, and sure, you go through like formative preteen, you go through formative when you're going through puberty, you go through formative when you're going from high school to college. But like those after college years where you're just like literally pushed out into the world and it's like sink or swim, like that's such a detrimental period of a person's life where you need like all of the support you should get. And I told you, because we were talking, and I was like, yo, so like, what are you doing? And you were like, I'm working enough. And you were like, I'm paying my rent.
That's all I was worried about.
And she's like, that's all I'm worried about is paying my rent. And I'm like,
yeah,
I understand being in a space where all you're worried about is paying your rent. And I'm like, you can't worry about anything else. So I'm like, if I could offer you the experience of not having to worry about anything else, so then you could then sit and figure out you and what you wanted to do. I was like, that was important to me, which I feel like you did this year.
Cause I was sinking when I first I was sinking,
okay?
And I still have
she
my
was
moments.
crying
I was not. I actually don't do that.
When you first got here?
I cried that first.
It was a couple times.
No.
When you first got here, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, I had the breakdown, I think, the next day. And you were like, oh, we was waiting for that.
Yeah. I mean, that was inevitable. It was going to come. You were away.
I really say I was crying every day because I will say this last year, living with y'all, I didn't have as many mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
It was peaceful. It was simple. So let me ask you, did you feel away when I left?
Well, you know I did.
Like, oh, okay. But how about
the goal was for you to leave, right?
Right.
So the goal was never for you to like stay at my house and be there forever. But we said a year and you was like, it's November, I'm out. And I'm like, that's 10 months, hold up. You still need those other 2, hold on. You know, so I think that was a thing for me. So I'm like, if we have a plan, and you feel that way too about plans. It's like, if we have a plan, if we say,
I told you September.
This is what it is. But you did say September. I said you had a year.
Yeah.
You was like, I'm out by September. I was like, girl, but I didn't want you to feel, I never wanted, and I don't think you ever did. I never wanted you to feel pressure like, oh, you gotta get out. We not gonna be here.
No, yeah.
Or like, you gotta get out. You gotta figure it out. Yeah. So yes, I did feel away when you left, but ultimately this is great. Your apartment is cute. We're here now filming our podcast. I mean, you had to do it. So you chose a good place. It's only 30 minutes from the house. You could be further.
I do go home.
You do go home. She comes home once a week at least.
For dinner and all the things.
For dinner. And you come home for dinner and don't even take food with you. I just don't. I'd be like, come over. I made X, Y, and Z. And she'll come and eat a single plate and leave. And then the next day be like, I'm so hungry.
Sorry,
oh my gosh,
no food
I don't
in the
have
house.
anything to eat. And I'm like, you could have taken.
Went from a stock fridge to, I just got sparkling water in there.
Please. That's ridiculous.
No leftovers.
But I think what we want to do with this podcast is talk about like these things, like the real conversation that we have, how much we've grown and developed with each other over the years of us like knowing each other. And then also like how we both show up in the world differently at our big ages.
And also similarly though.
True.
We look at a lot of things like in the same light.
Yeah.
And I think we get each other differently than a lot of other relationships that you might have and I might have. And I think that's why it's not just a auntie niece situation. It's more of like a sister, let me teach you. Let me show you the right way.
Right.
And you can show me your way. Cause she's still learning too. She ain't all the way grown.
She put me on the chat GPT, y'all.
Hello.
Cause first of all, what was I doing? I was doing a proposal for something. And I'm like, I'm going over the proposal. I'm like writing this pages long. And she's like, this is from your brain? And I was like, yeah.
Nobody uses that anymore.
Where else would it be from? And she literally said, nobody uses that anymore. Like, you don't use chat GPT. And I was like, chat what? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, there's words up here. There's stuff up here. So now the stuff that would take my brain an hour or so to do, I can do in 60 seconds on ChatGPT and tweak it and be done in 5. So thank you so much for that.
again, look, me teaching her something.
Not too much.
That's just one of the things.
Not too
We'll
much.
get into the others
Not too much.
in the next episode.
You have others?
That I've taught you this year? Yeah.
Such as?
TikTok, CapCut, editing.
You didn't teach me TikTok.
I taught you some stuff on TikTok.
But
Yes,
you
I
didn't
did.
teach me TikTok.
Girl, I teach you something on TikTok every day. Same with CapCut. Same with your editing. And she the producer and the creative director. And I'm just the, what do they call them things that start with A? What do they call them people that is like under the person and they're learning? It starts with an A.
Apprentice?
Apprentice. Yes. And I'm just the apprentice. But you see, so I use ChatGPT, so my brain don't work. That's why.
And that's the problem. That right there lies the problem, okay? That's my problem with ChatGPT and y'all kids.
All right.
Okay? So, thank y'all for joining us for the first episode of Gap Talk. This is going to be one of many.
We have a few episodes lined up for the rest of the year.
We do. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah. Sponsored by.
Please. Do they be paying people to do stuff?
I'm sure. That's AI.
Really?
Yeah. The robot's going to love me when it's time. I'm putting them on. Yeah,
Until next time.
Y'all,
We need to figure out a sign off.
I know. That's not going to come.
We don't have it for this first episode.
No, absolutely.
But we'll figure it out for the ones in the future. Until next time, we have to do like the regular like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.
We're on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Thanks to the social media manager. She will be posting, what happened? She will be making sure that all of our content is on all platforms. Until next time, how often are we doing this again?
Every other week. So catch us on January 30th for the next episode. Ooh. Won't tell you what it's about though. You have to look and follow us on Instagram.
Bye, y'all.
Sign off.
We out, bitch.
And we're cut.